If your lender gets wind that you have changed the title to the property, they may call the mortgage due. Hello everyone, and thank you for checking out our video here on YouTube. I'm Justin Cooper with Pine Financial Group, where we work together so you succeed. If you like the content you're getting from us, give it a thumbs up. Please subscribe and don't forget to hit that notification button so you get alerted each week when we have the next video coming out. The famed due on sale clause. A lot of folks freak out when they first hear about this, but with a little bit of knowledge and understanding, it is something we can all get comfortable with. Now, what is the due on sale clause? Well, it's exactly that. It's a clause in your deed of trust, your mortgage, in your note, something you're signing when you're buying a property and getting a loan. And the clause is called the due on sale clause. Now, what that is basically telling you that when you sell the property, the mortgage is due on sale, right? Well, upon the sale of a property, your mortgage is due. But why do investors worry about the due on sale clause? Why is this something that we talk often about? Well, when it comes to owning rental properties, a lot of investors want to put their properties into an entity, into an LLC or something like that. So they may buy the property in their personal name, get a mortgage in their personal name, and then want to move the deed, do a quick claim deed, something like that, and put the title of the property into an entity. Now, what constitutes a sale? That's really the tricky part around this due on sale clause. A sale of the property might be looked at as changing ownership to a property. That makes sense, right? If I sell it to you, we're changing ownership of the property. In doing that, the name on the title changes from me to you. Now, similarly, if we try and quick claim the property from me to my entity, we're still changing the name of the title of the property. And so in doing so, it could be looked at as a sale of the property. And so the risk there then is if your lender gets wind that you have changed the title to the property, they may call the mortgage due. Say you have to now pay us off and give you whatever that may be, 30 days, 90 days, I don't know. Thankfully, I haven't had it happen to me. But that's the risk in doing it. And that's the risk that people need to be aware of. Because a lot of folks want to put their properties into an LLC for the asset protection of it, but they may not be aware of this due on sale clause. Now, just because it's there doesn't necessarily mean you need to be scared or that you shouldn't do this. What you need to do is just educate yourself, get comfortable with it, and understand the moving parts. Is the risk worth the reward? The risk of having your loan called due versus the reward of putting your property into an entity and having that asset protection. But we have to understand the risks that go around this. What could happen? What do we do if that does happen? If the mortgage is called due, we don't just get foreclosed on that day. We don't get a letter saying, nope, your property is no longer yours, it's the bank's, right? There's a process that goes into it. And so what does that process look like, and what can we do to prevent or avoid the foreclosure of the process or the loss of the property? So first off, if your mortgage gets called, one thing you could do is sell the property. Again, you're going to have some time to take care of this. So maybe what you want to do is just sell the property. You can list it on the market, get an agent, something like that, and just sell the property. And when you sell the property, you're going to pay off the mortgage. Pretty clean and easy. But I think a lot of us don't want to do that. We want to hold on to the property. So there might be some other ways that we can address it. One of the other ways might be to refinance the property. By refinancing the property, we're going to pay off the lender who's calling the loan due, and then get a new loan for the next 10, 15, 30 years, whatever we want to do. Now, if we have put the property into an LLC and we want to keep the property in the LLC, we want to get a lender who will lend to the LLC, probably having to go through this process because your original lender would not do that. Typically, conventional lenders do not lend to LLCs. So who do we go to? We may want to call credit unions, local banks, someone like that who has these maybe commercial products that can lend to an LLC. We can go to them, say, I'm looking to refinance my property. It's a rental property. It's in an LLC. What do we have to do and what can we do to get this done? And then follow those steps, refinance your mortgage. And the lender who's calling their note due now gets paid off. Everybody's happy. You still have your rental property. Now, one thing I have heard some people do is that they've actually deeded the property back to themselves. So what they did initially was they bought the property in their personal name and got their loan in the personal name. Then they changed the deed, changed the title into their LLC, and that's what threw the red flags. So then what they could do is then take the property from the LLC and change the deed back to their personal name. If you do that, you submit the right paperwork, you explain the situation to the lender, maybe that cures it. Maybe now the lender is comfortable with what you did and how it works, and then everybody's above board with it. So if that interests you, you could try that, right? These are all options to do. These are what I've heard other investors do when the due on sale clause got tripped and they got called on it. Now, I've been investing for 13, 15 years now, and I think I've only heard of 2, maybe 3 investors ever having this happen to them. But that doesn't mean it's not going to happen to you in the future. So you just gotta make sure you're educated and understand the moving parts around this. Now, I'm not an attorney. Please consult an attorney. This is not any kind of legal advice or anything like that. Make sure you're crossing your T's and you're dotting your I's. But it is something to be aware of, and there are some potential workarounds. Thanks so much again for watching. And if you like the content and value that we at Pine Financial Group bring, be sure to tell a friend, like and subscribe here, and give us a call to see how we can help you finance your next deal. And as always, you can learn more at pinefinancialgroup.com.